In 2024, a series of alarming incidents involving Malaysia Airlines flights sent shockwaves through the aviation industry. Just weeks apart, planes were forced to make emergency landings or return to the airport due to concerning issues such as engine failures, cabin pressure issues, and hydraulic system malfunctions. These events, while fortunately resulting in safe landings, reignited haunting memories of the infamous disappearance of MH370, further tarnishing the airline's already battered reputation. Once a symbol of national pride, the airline's fortunes have plummeted in recent decades, and the latest spate of incidents only serves as a stark reminder of the airline's dramatic downfall. Meanwhile, Singapore Airlines, once sharing a common heritage with Malaysia Airlines, has thrived, earning a global reputation for top-notch service and safety. But how did two airlines with the same origins end up on such different paths? The answer lies in a mix of government interference, cronyism, mismanagement, and tragic events that have marred Malaysia Airlines' legacy. Join us as we delve into the controversial decisions, scandals, and challenges that have driven this once proud airline to the brink. Be sure to watch till the end as we reveal the reasons behind the recent flight incidents that led to a shocking government decision. Malaysia Airlines has a rich history dating back to the 1930s when it began operations as Malayan Airways Limited in Singapore. After the formation of the Federation of Malaysia, the airline was renamed Malaysian Airways and continued to serve the region. However, following Singapore's separation, it was renamed Malaysia-Singapore Airlines, or MSA in short. Despite MSA being profitable, tensions arose between the Singapore and Malaysian governments regarding the airline's future direction. While Singapore sought to prioritize international routes, Malaysia envisioned a strong domestic network. These differing visions ultimately led to the dissolution of MSA in 1972. MSA's assets were divided, paving the way for the establishment of two distinct national airlines: Malaysia Airlines System, which was later renamed as Malaysia Airlines, and Singapore Airlines. While both airlines would go on to play significant roles in their respective countries' aviation industries, their trajectories couldn't be more different. From its inception, SIA embarked on a journey to redefine the standards of commercial aviation. Known for its impeccable service and luxurious amenities, the airline has consistently ranked among the world's best. Its commitment to excellence has earned it numerous accolades, including the prestigious World's Best Airline title from Skytrax. What sets SIA apart is not just its exceptional service, but also its remarkable financial performance. Despite its reputation for luxury, SIA is one of the industry's most cost-effective operators. Except during the COVID-19 pandemic, the airline has always delivered healthy profits, allowing it to consistently pay dividends to its shareholders. Despite being majority-owned by the Singapore government through state investment company Temasek Holdings, Singapore Airlines has maintained a remarkable level of autonomy. This is largely due to the exceptional leadership and management team that has steered the airline for decades. However, there have been rare instances where government intervention was necessary. One notable example was the dispute with the SIA Pilots Union in 1980. When pilots threatened to strike over salary demands, then Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew stepped in to mediate, swiftly resolving the crisis and preventing significant disruption to the airline's operations. More recently, the COVID-19 pandemic severely impacted Singapore Airlines, pushing it to the brink of collapse. The airline faced unprecedented losses and urgently needed government support. Temasek Holdings provided a record-breaking rescue package, delivering the vital financial support required. As a result, Singapore Airlines not only survived, but achieved its highest ever annual profit by May 2023, reversing its previous losses. While the Singapore government's interventions were a success, the same cannot be said for Malaysia Airlines. Many believe that the Malaysian government's heavy-handed approach to managing its national carrier ultimately led to its downfall. But how did the Malaysia government's decisions affect its national carrier? After the inception of Malaysia Airlines in 1972, the national carrier expanded, and by the 1980s, it was a thriving airline raking in billions in profits. But then Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad made a fateful decision that, according to many observers, set Malaysia Airlines on a course towards a downward spiral. Despite the airline's enormous success, Mahathir oversaw a controversial privatization deal that saw businessman Tan Sri Tajuddin Ramli acquire a controlling stake in the national carrier in 1994. The deal raised eyebrows among many, as Tajuddin lacked aviation industry experience to lead the airline. To secure this controlling interest, Tajuddin had leveraged substantial loans from several government-linked companies, amassing a staggering debt of 1.79 billion ringgit. This audacious move would eventually prove to be a costly gamble for the government. During the 1997 Asian financial crisis, Tajuddin was dealt a devastating blow. Struggling to keep the airline afloat, the government eventually stepped in to bail him out by buying back the airline from him at the exact price he had paid 7 years earlier to prevent a complete collapse of the airline. But this wasn't a straightforward rescue. Malaysia Airlines was in dire financial straits, having racked up significant losses during Tajuddin's tenure. The airline was teetering on the brink of bankruptcy, and the government's decision to pay a premium for its shares sparked widespread public outrage. Critics accused the government of using taxpayer money to bail out a crony, with Tajuddin's close relationship with powerful figures like Mahathir Mohamad and former Finance Minister Daim Zainuddin fueling these suspicions. Worse still, Tajuddin later defaulted on the loan he had taken to purchase his stake in the airline. Government-linked company Dana Harta filed a lawsuit against him in 2006, seeking to recover millions of ringgit in unpaid debt. In a surprising twist, Tajuddin denied personal responsibility for the massive loan, arguing that he was coerced into buying shares at an inflated price to cover Bank Negara's foreign exchange losses. He claimed that Mahathir Mohamad and Daim Zainuddin pressured him into the deal with a promise of government indemnity for any liabilities. However, Mahathir categorically denied these accusations. More drama unfolded when, despite winning a 589 million ringgit legal case against Tajuddin for unpaid loans, Dana Harta unexpectedly settled out of court following government orders. The government claimed the move would save billions, but many were doubtful. Speculation swirled about the real motives behind the deal, with some suspecting Tajuddin was let off the hook, while others believed the government feared damaging revelations if the case dragged on. But one thing was clear: the damage to MAS was already done. The question was, could it ever recover? Well, the privatization fiasco was just the beginning of a series of missteps that would plague Malaysia Airlines for years to come. The airline continued to hemorrhage money, leading to a series of leadership changes and turnaround plans. One notable CEO, Idris Jala, managed to briefly turn the airline around, but his cost-cutting measures had unintended consequences. Morale plummeted, talent fled, and the airline's financial woes resurfaced. A series of losses followed, culminating in a staggering loss of 2.5 billion ringgit in 2011, 2 years after Idris left his role. Subsequent years saw a mixed bag of profits and losses. The already dire situation at Malaysia Airlines took a devastating turn on March 8, 2014, when flight MH370, a Boeing aircraft, disappeared, while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. The disappearance of MH370 remains one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history. Despite extensive search efforts, the aircraft has never been found, and the fate of its 239 passengers and crew remains unknown. The loss of MH370 was a catastrophic blow to Malaysia Airlines, both financially and reputationally. The airline was widely criticized for its handling of the crisis, with accusations of misinformation, delays, and poor communication with the families of the victims. The incident severely damaged the airline's reputation and eroded public trust. Just months later, on July 17, 2014, Malaysia Airlines was struck by another tragedy when Flight MH17 was shot down over eastern Ukraine while flying from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur. All 298 passengers and crew on board were killed. The twin tragedies left Malaysia Airlines in a fight for survival. Its reputation was shattered, and passenger numbers plummeted, all while facing fierce competition from low-cost carriers and regional rivals. Financial losses soared, forcing the Malaysian government to intervene with a US $1.5 billion restructuring plan in 2014. This led to major job cuts, route reductions, and the appointment of Christoph Mueller as CEO to turn the airline around. Despite these efforts, the struggles persisted. In 2015, Mueller declared the airline technically bankrupt and called for a complete overhaul, citing poor management, an overstaffed workforce, and inflated supply chain costs as key issues. Shockingly, Malaysia Airlines was paying 20 to 25% above market prices for products, raising suspicions of corruption and cronyism. Mueller resigned within a year, citing personal reasons, and his successor, Peter Bellew, also left after just over a year at the helm. The frequent leadership changes left Malaysia Airlines without a clear, coherent long-term strategy, making a true turnaround elusive despite its efforts to rebuild. The COVID-19 pandemic only worsened the situation, forcing the government to again inject billions to keep the airline afloat. Though Malaysia Airlines finally reported a profit in 2024, driven by higher demand and ticket prices, the success was short-lived. Between June to September 2024, several flights experienced technical issues, leading to emergency landings or returns. This wave of disruptions shattered passenger confidence, undermining the airline's fragile recovery. These incidents forced Malaysia Airlines and its sister airlines to reduce their flight schedules and routes until December 2024. Things took another dramatic turn when the country's aviation regulator, after a thorough investigation, cut short the validity of Malaysia Airlines' operating license from 3 years to just 1. This move dealt a severe blow to the airline's already shaken reputation. Investigations revealed that global parts shortages caused longer maintenance times and delayed new aircraft deliveries, worsening Malaysia Airlines' operational struggles. However, other airlines, including SIA, faced similar challenges. But SIA, for one, had a proactive strategy of maintaining a young, efficient fleet to minimize maintenance needs, allowing it to weather delays in new aircraft delivery more effectively. This raises the question, were Malaysia Airlines' problems largely self-inflicted due to poor fleet management? The aviation regulator also warned that Malaysia Airlines' staffing crisis was a ticking time bomb. The airline was losing highly skilled maintenance personnel to competitors offering better pay and benefits. This sparked accusations of government sabotage when hangars were leased to SIA Engineering Company, a subsidiary of Singapore Airlines, which was thought to have poached the airline's technical staff. However, sharp-eyed observers highlighted that the real issue lay in the airline's failure to retain its top talent. Unlike SIA and its subsidiaries, which invest heavily in employee training and competitive rewards to attract and retain top talent, Malaysia Airlines has struggled with retrenchments and inadequate compensation over the years. This has made it difficult to attract and retain the best people. Amidst the turmoil, Prime Minister Anwar made a shocking revelation, accusing the previous administration of cronyism. He claimed that questionable decisions had allowed political allies to undermine key national companies, including Malaysia Airlines, fueling long-standing suspicions that cronyism played a role in the airline's downfall. Although Anwar reiterated that efforts have been made to restore the national airline to its former glory, the question is, whether is it too little too late? Can Malaysia Airlines ever match the iconic success of Singapore Airlines? Believe it or not, SIA's own story is equally extraordinary. But what are the secret ingredients to its success that Malaysia Airlines lacks? Watch this video to find out more.